Lin-Manuel Miranda listens to this podcast.
I mean, it sounds crazy to think about, right? But I think maybe he does.
Should we just give him a hey girl?
Hey girl.
Hey girl, are you listening right now?
He made like a random flat earth joke the other day.
I know.
And it was like, no, I mean, we did that flat earth documentary a couple of weeks ago, but I was like, it was close enough. Like, I've never seen him tweet a flat earth joke before, and now suddenly
He travels a lot. Maybe he listens.
What if he just tweeted like at True Crime Obsessed, hey girl?
That's how you would know. That's how you would know.
I was just like, my apartment would shake from across the park. Like,
I'm shaking with the thought. I can't. We have to move on. Jillian Pensavalle.
Patrick Hines. Lynn, did you like that?
You guys, before we get to the show, listen, the Pride show is basically tomorrow.
Yeah, pretty much.
We've got like 29 tickets left. I don't know, a very low number.
Uh-huh.
Come join us. Come on my Pride tour. It's going to be amazing. You're going to see the village. You're going to hang out with me. The show's going to be insane. We've got drag queens hanging out with us, a fancy comic to open for us. I don't know. I've been talking about it for so long now. I don't even know what to think.
There are some things that we can't talk about.
Major surprises.
I want awards for not running my mouth and letting the secrets out. I'm a very good secret keeper,
It's
and
true.
I want praise for that.
You know what we can talk about?
What?
The TCO after party.
Oh.
You guys, new on Patreon at the $7 level. Listen, Jillian and I, sometimes we don't see each other for a whole week, so then we just sit after we record and we just chat. We'll either do a recap of our recap or we'll just talk about our lives or the crazy things that are happening.
Or nothing.
Yeah.
It's good. It's fun. It's fun for us.
TCO after party, you guys. It's the $7 level. You also get at the $5 level all of our bonus episodes. The Staircase, Serial, Making a Murderer, The Jinx, Lorena.
Right. And
episode by episode, that's like 70 episodes.
And, oh my God, that's 80 at least.
Yeah.
And also for the $7 level, it's just $2 more. So
Right.
you're not paying like an extra $7. Because I saw people in the Facebook group wondering what that means.
No. Just upgrade to the after
girl.
party, guys.
Yeah, it's fine.
At the $10 level, you get all the ad-free episodes. At the $20 level, you get a little bonus surprise every month. For any level that you sign up for, you get every level down.
Right.
So it's a win-win.
Yeah.
We love you.
Win-win-win.
Lynn. We love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. We gotta say we're a little nervous about this one, but we're gonna jump right into it. Okay, girl, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about Say Her Name, the life and death of Sandra Bland.
You know the thing that has been like permeating my brain all day?
What?
Is like how wrong her last name was. This woman was anything but Bland.
Oh, yes, totally.
She does this sort of like social media online thing called Sandy Speaks, and it's like the first thing we see, and it just gives you such a window into the firecracker that was this woman.
You're right. It's such a fantastic introduction to who she is, talking about like kingdom and queendom.
Yes.
She's so positive. She's like, I hope you guys did something productive today to like advance yourselves and the world, and she has such an amazing message.
I was just like, I hope that this is like sprinkled throughout the whole documentary. I need all of the Sandy Speaks in my life.
Spoiler, it is.
Today's Sandy Speaks is going to focus directly on my white people. What I need you to understand is that being a black person in America is very, very hard.
I will light you up. Get out!
Wow.
Now!
Sandy called me, let me know that she had been arrested. How do you go from failure to signal a lane change to dead in jail by alleged suicide?
I believe she let them know. I'll see you guys in court, and I believe they silenced her.
Do I think this jail have anything to do with her death? No. But moral responsibility-wise, absolutely.
If we want change, we can truly make it happen. Sandy Speaks.
So this movie does that great thing that I love. They just tell us right away sort of the full story of how we got here, sort of. And we learned that on July 10th, Sandra was stopped by the Texas Department of Public Safety for a traffic infraction. What was that traffic infraction, Jillian?
A trooper was behind her, basically telling her to pull over, and so she pulled over, but she failed to signal when she did so.
How bullshit is this reason for pulling her over?
This is a good time to mention the bell is not here, so ding, ding,
ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding.
I mean, it just looked like this cop was, his name is Encinia.
Yeah.
He was just kind of looking for some action, it seems like. He was looking for some trouble.
Exactly.
The state trooper arrested Bland for assault of a public servant, then transported Miss Bland to the Waller County Jail. On Monday, July 13th At 8:58 a.m., jailers went to cell 95 and observed Miss Bland hanging from her privacy partition in her cell. The Harris County, Texas Medical Examiner's Office listed the manner of death as suicide.
So her death is listed as a suicide, but there are a lot of unanswered questions that we're going to go through.
Yeah. So then we meet her sisters. We meet two of her sisters, and
Yeah.
I don't know where they are, Chicago, I think. And it's like cold out, and we're going like through a graveyard to like her grave.
Right, because they have this new gravestone that's colorful and beautiful, and they're leaning over to talk to her and saying like, no matter how long it takes, you wanted to change history, we got your back, and we're going to do this.
Yeah.
Their names are Sharon and Shantae, and I love them both.
Got a lot of people that's down here standing with you and us. People you know, people you don't know. A lot of people who you don't know.
I don't think Officer Encinia knew whose you were and who you belonged to when he pulled you over.
Well, each day, you let him know what mistake he made. You're going to get to the bottom of it.
When she died, she was at a place in her life where she was just starting to like figure out what her mission was. Like what her calling was. Yeah. Which is like makes this even all the more tragic.
Right, and we learned that from Geneva, her mother.
I love Geneva.
Geneva revealed loving you.
Sandy kept talking about going back to Texas. She said, now I know what I'm supposed to be doing. She talked about this. She kept saying, my purpose is to go back to Texas and to stop all of the injustices against blacks.
She wants to go to Texas to stop the injustices against black people.
Right.
She decides that on July 8th. She drives to Texas by herself and she's like, I'm doing this. She has so much literal drive and purpose. And by July 11th, she calls her sister Shantae from the county jail, says, look, my arm hurts. Also, I'm in the county jail.
Also, this is the same arrest we were just talking about where she ends up dead in 3 days.
I said, what are you in jail for? She said, I really don't know. And she said, my arm is hurting really bad. And I could hear her talking to the guards in the background. Then she said, I'll call you back. And she hung up the phone. And she never called back.
So this is when we start to meet the people on the other side. You guys, they all talk so goddamn slow. It's the reason why this movie is an hour and 47 minutes long.
Yes. And they talk about like, is that why y'all are mad at us? No. No,
we're mad for other reasons, bitch.
But you do talk a little slower. You do. I'm not going to take that away from you, but we're here for other reasons. We're not here for your diction or whatever. So one of them is R. Glenn Smith. He is the sheriff of Waller County.
Monday morning, when Miss Bland was found in her cell, the ambulance and medical help was being called, then I was notified. When I walked back to the cell, the justice of the peace was already here. It's a devastating call. To the Texas sheriff, that's the last thing we want in our jail is not for everybody to come in here and leave here the same way they come in, if not healthier.
He wants people to leave his jail the same way they came in, if not healthier. Right. Which is, Robbie, how do you leave the county jail in Texas better than how you came in? I'm just curious, because RG doesn't explain how that's supposed to happen.
How are we going to accomplish that goal? So then we meet the DA?
Elton Mathis, the district attorney.
You guys, if you thought the talking slow was bad in the previous scene, wait till you hear this guy.
Well, he's the one who's like, maybe we talk a little, later in the documentary. This is Elton, and it's like, Elton, maybe you're a little right. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was a little hasty a minute ago.
Elton, girl, get it together.
Right. So he's the district attorney for Waller County.
Yeah. They're asking him about the morning they found out about the death of Sandra Bland. And he said,
I got a phone call from a friend of mine who's in the media in Houston. He said, Elton, what's going on with this hanging at the jail? And I said, well, we had a hanging at the jail. As far as I know, the Texas Rangers are handling it. And that's about all I know. They'll give me a report when they finish it. It got a lot stranger. It was either that afternoon or the next morning. Everything hit the proverbial fan.
So now, you guys, trigger warning for a lot of things right now.
Guys, I wish I had a trigger warning. This is unbearable, what we're about to talk about.
So the day after Sandra Bland's death, a bystander video of her arrest goes viral.
Yeah, there are two videos that come into play. There's the dash cam video, and then there's the bystander video.
Right, so the bystander video starts with Sandra Bland on the ground, on her stomach.
Yeah.
With Trooper Encia, whatever.
Who fucking cares?
Whatever.
Yeah.
His knee in her back. That's the most important thing.
Okay, roll over.
I can't even fucking feel my arm.
Tuck your knee in. Tuck your knee in.
Goddamn. I can't.
Listen, you're going to sit up on your butt.
Slam my head into the ground.
Sit up on your butt.
Listen to how he's telling you to get up. I can't even hear. Yes, you can. He
Sit up
slammed
on
my
your butt.
fucking head into the ground.
Sit up on your butt.
What the hell?
Now stand up.
I'm in for a traffic signal. I swear to God.
He is being so violent to this woman.
Right, and at this point, there's another officer there.
Right.
Yelling, too.
A woman officer.
Yeah, and they're like asking this bystander to stop filming.
They're not asking him. They are demanding it. And at first, I love this bystander because she's like, girl, what? She's like, I can't hear. Sorry, girl, I can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, what?
You need to leave. You need to leave.
I can't hear you.
You need to leave.
Am I on public property?
This was when videos like this were happening all the time. There was a video from that pool party also in Texas where that 15-year-old girl got body slammed to the ground. It is so fucking brutal.
Yeah.
But it's so important to know you are allowed to film cops. If you're on public property, you're allowed to film them.
Absolutely. And you hear Sandra saying, thank you.
All of this for a traffic signal. Thank you for recording. Thank you for a traffic signal. Slam me into the ground and everything.
So now we meet Sharon Cooper, who's another one of Sandy's sisters, and she's basically like, bitch, what? Because she hadn't seen this bystander video until Tuesday, the day after her sister died.
So she's like, I'm sorry, is that even my sister? How did this happen?
Right.
And how is this guy's knee in her back?
Right.
So, of course, when the bystander video comes out, now I have a ton of questions because my mind goes to, okay, what happened before all of that to get her to the point where she's down on the ground with this guy towering over her? And how do you go from this very strong woman to dead in jail by alleged suicide?
So 30 miles outside of Chicago, Illinois, we meet Cannon Lambert, attorney.
He's gorgeous. His house is gorgeous. His family is gorgeous.
And so the thing is, we're here with him because Sandra Bland in like 2005, a couple years before this horrible thing happened, she was rear-ended by a motorcycle or something on the road.
And then apparently decided to call the most expensive lawyer in Chicago.
Right, because I guess she was like, I have a hell of a case.
Like, I was like, this is a guy you call for like a fender bender? Like, he looks so fancy.
You're saying that because you guys not a visual medium, but the house is unbelievable.
I mean, he definitely lives in a very fancy suburb.
Absolutely.
Also, his name is Cannon. Does it get sexier?
Cannon Lambert?
I can't handle it.
Sandy got rear-ended by a motorcycle on the 5th of April, 2015, and she contacted my office. She had a big personality, and it was a big, bright personality. See, I'm assessing people when I talk to them, trying to figure out what type of witness they're going to be. Is she going to be equipped to think on her feet? She was.
And so he tells the story that however long later, after he's represented her in this fender bender, he's driving in the car with his wife, and his wife is like, oh my God, Sandy Bland died. And he's like, the name sort of rings a bell. And he's like, show me a picture of her. The wife shows him a picture, and he's like, what his face is saying is like, well, the world just lost like the brightest bulb.
Exactly. So the family calls him.
Sandy's family.
Right, because it's like, okay, this is a lawyer we know. I'm assuming he did a great job with the motorcycle rear-ending.
It's like $800 an hour.
Obviously. Or like if the case was so cut and dry, he's like, I'll just do this pro bono. That's what they say, right?
Sure.
Lawyers in the Facebook group, am I right or wrong? Pro bono means free, right? Right. But when the family calls, he just says, he was like, well, you're compelled to help and be involved.
Exactly.
Obviously. So Cannon, the lawyer, gets the phone call 5 days after Sandra's death. He's in Texas. He's at the county jail.
Yeah.
He is going to work.
They have all this video of the actual inside of the county jail where Sandy had been taken. This is where things start to get a little fishy.
The Texas Rangers, they walked us through footage, so they claimed anyway, of the jail. We were looking, trying to see where Sandy was. I didn't see her ever.
They never see Sandy? Like, she's not on this video anywhere? And then her sister takes us through the experience of watching this video.
There's no timestamps. There's no dates. Her cell was all the way in the back corner. She was in a cell number 95. The way they choose to phrase it is where she was did not have cameras. But I would think that would be strange. And how are you monitoring your inmates?
The sister's like, that's kind of weird.
Right.
You would think that, like, how are you even, like, keeping an eye on your inmates then? This inmate that you said is super dangerous and assaulting this officer, like, wouldn't you kind of want to know what's up?
Exactly.
It's all very, very, very fishy. And they also said that Sandra made phone calls, but they didn't know what phone was used or who she called.
And then the lead investigator for the Texas Rangers, Shane Ellison, had told us that specifically Sandy made upwards of 21 phone calls, yet they tell us they don't know what phones she used to make these 21 calls. That doesn't make sense to me. If you know she made 21 calls, then you've got to know what phones she used to make those calls.
We do have audio of her on the phone sometimes to some of her sisters, but they don't have all of the audio. Like, none of this is making any sense. I watched all 20 episodes of Making a Murderer. I know that phone calls are recorded.
Also, 21 phone calls? How did she have time to make 21 goddamn phone calls?
Right.
It's not adding up, you guys. Then the attorney tells us that, like, the police had opened an investigation into the death, and so he's saying, like...
So I'm thinking that we're going to see documentation by way of photographs. They showed us some photographs of her body in the cell. They did not have any photographs that depicted her hanging, and we were told explicitly that they don't exist.
Not only do they not see any photos of Sandy hanging in this, like, makeshift noose that apparently was made out of a trash bag, those photos don't exist. They were never taken.
And Sandy's sister says, too, like, well, I'm sorry, just rewinding again real quick. You take shoelaces, belts, anything where someone can harm themselves, that is protocol across the board.
Right, but you leave this, like, 30-gallon trash can with, like, a huge trash bag in the. It's like inviting somebody to take their own life.
It's all very strange.
Yeah, but then this hits very close to home to me because of my husband. The sister's like, yeah, we were grieving. However, we're also a family of note takers.
Oh, this screamed Asia McClain to me. Because now I'm like, you guys, because the sister's like, whenever anything was kind of like, that's not right, they made a note of it.
Right.
Maybe they don't have the perfect legal pad that Asia did in the vacuum sealing or whatever. You guys,
Asia, we need to know more about your system.
Right.
You kept those notes pristine for like 14 years. All right, you guys, we're here. This is the dash cam video.
Yeah.
So we've seen the end of this interaction with her and the cop, with the bystander video. Now we're going to see the whole thing where she gets pulled over and how this whole interaction goes down. And it is fucked, you guys.
It is so hard to watch and so unbelievable to see it because this video was everywhere when it came out.
Yeah.
But it was with people talking over it and it was bits and pieces and it was edited. So to see it all in one shot is just the most eye-opening, like, what the fuck?
So he pulls her over and he gets out of his car and he goes over to the passenger side.
I thought that was weird
right?
too.
I don't know anything about policing, but like that. But yeah, it was the passenger side.
I paused it and asked Mike, and he was like, "Well, maybe it's because like there were so many cars on the driver's side." But I was like, "No, because the worst part happens on the driver's side."
Right? Yeah.
So he didn't care about that. I'm so glad you caught that too.
I thought it was really weird.
Hello, ma'am. With the Texas Highway Patrol, the reason for your stop is you failed to signal your lane change. You got your driver's license insurance with you?
He goes back to the car. We get this on-screen text that says 5 minutes and 41 seconds later. Now we're seeing him back on the driver's side, and he is looking for a fight.
He's looking for a fight.
So he's about to give her the ticket, and he just asks her if she's okay, like, not in a nice way.
You okay?
I'm waiting on you. This is your job. I'm waiting on you. What do you want me to
Oh,
say?
you seem very irritated.
I am. I really am. Because I feel like this crap is what I'm getting a ticket for. I was getting out of your way. You were speeding up, tailing me. So I move over, and you stopped me. So, yeah, I am a little irritated, but that doesn't stop you from giving me a ticket. So.
She's like, well, this is your job, dude. I'm waiting on you. Like, you pull me over. Like, what's the deal?
Yeah, and then she, like, tells him that she's irritated, and then he...
Well, no, he says you seem irritated, which... Ladies?
I know. So Sandy is pissed, and she tells him as much, and then he asks her, like, are you done? Like he just talks to her like she's a child.
Are you done?
You asked me what's wrong, and I told you.
Okay.
So now I'm done, yeah.
Okay. You mind putting out your cigarette, please? Don't mind.
I'm in my car. Why do I have to put out my cigarette?
Well, you can step on out now.
I don't have to step out of my car.
Step out of the car.
She's like, girl, you asked me if I was upset, and I told you that I am. Like, what do you want?
And then from here on out, everything he says is a power move.
Yeah.
Step out of the car.
No, you don't have the right.
Step out of the car.
You do not have the right to do that.
I do have the right. Now step out or I will remove you.
I refuse to talk to you other than to identify myself.
Step out or I will remove you.
I am getting removed for a failure.
Step out or I will remove you. I'm giving you a lawful order.
And
what line in his brain did she cross there?
Oh, she's a woman and she's black. I mean,
and
yeah.
she's furious about it. I mean, again, I haven't lived a life of experiencing racism. She fucking has. And that's why, I mean, I can't speak for her. I don't know. But that's where this, like, just frustration and rage is coming from in her voice.
Right.
This is not fucking today, bitch.
But then he does this thing. He opens her driver's side door.
Yeah.
And he is so physically intimidating to her. You hear him slap her.
I'm watching all of these violations occur.
Let's do this.
Yeah, we're going to.
Yeah.
That man slapped her. He slapped her. You can hear it.
We're going to.
Yeah. Don't touch me.
He reaches into the car, and you hear a smack, and then you see her head pulling away from him.
And she says, "Don't touch me."
Yeah.
They have this whole, like, step out or I'm going to remove you. They're both ramping up here.
Get out of the car now.
Why am I being apprehended? You trying to give me a ticket
I
for your
said
failure?
get out of the car.
Why am I being apprehended? You
I'm
just
giving
opened
you a
my
lawful
car
order.
door. You just
I'm
opened
gonna
my
drag
car
you
door.
out of here.
So you threatening to drag me out of my own car.
Get out of the car.
And then you
I will
stun
light
me?
you up. Get out.
Wow.
Now.
Wow.
Get out of the car.
Then he says to her, I'm going to light you up.
It's all just a power move. But what he does, he takes something out, and I don't know what it was at first.
It's a taser.
It's a taser. But he takes something out of his holster and puts it in her face. And I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
And he basically forces her out of the car and is screaming at her.
If you would have just listened.
I was trying to sign the fucking ticket. Whatever.
Stop moving.
Are you fucking serious?
Stop moving.
Oh.
What we'll learn later is what he's doing and what they say he's been trained to do is to get her out of the view of the dash cam.
Right.
Because then all of a sudden he gets physical with her.
You're about to break my wrist. Can you stop? You are about to fucking break my wrist.
Stop moving. Stop now. Stop it.
She's in such pain,
Yeah.
and it's so...
And rage and frustration.
Yes.
And that stuff that you feel when your dignity is just being completely steamrolled over.
Right. And she does say at this point, she's like, I cannot wait to take you to court. I cannot wait. Because she knows her rights.
I cannot wait till we go to court. I can't wait. Ooh, I can't wait. You want me to sit down now?
No.
Every single time she says anything, it's escalating him, it's escalating her, it's escalating him. And by the way, he is the law enforcement officer. It is his job to de-escalate this situation.
Right.
That is literally his job. And then they get into this like screaming match and he's like, well, now you're under arrest.
You were getting a warning. Until now, you're going to jail.
No, I'm getting for what?
You can come
For
read.
what?
Come read right.
I'm getting a warning for what?
Stay right here.
For what? Well, you
Stay
just
right
pointed me
here.
over there.
Come read right over here. This right here says a warning. You started creating the problems.
You asked me what was wrong.
The sister says, like, if the cop is willing to treat her that way in the middle of the day in broad daylight, what kind of treatment must she have gotten when she got to the jail where no one's looking?
Exactly.
I felt like, oh my gosh, if she was treated that way in public, cars are riding by, she's treated that way on the road. What was going on in the jail? What was going on in there?
So she's in jail, and we see a lot of this video of her being processed in and whatever. Mm-hmm. Her bond is set at $5,000. In order to get out, she needs to come up with like 10% of that. So she needs $500. She calls her sister. Her sister doesn't have the money. But the family, now they're aware, and they just need a day or two to get the money together. But no one is seeing this as like, oh my God, I got to get on a plane. It's an emergency. Like, it's a shitty situation. But in a day or two, they'll have the cash. So now we're hearing a little bit more about the sheriff. You know,
R.G. Smith.
The first really slow talker.
Ding.
So this guy says to us,
this county, unfortunately, goes all the way back to the Civil War, and it is a sensitive topic.
This county goes all the way back to the Civil War, and it's a sensitive topic.
When he said that...
You guys, it was 800 years ago. You lost. Get the fuck over it.
I was like pressing my temples like, this bitch did not say it's a sensitive issue.
You guys don't bring up the Civil War at breakfast. Dad gets really mad.
It's really sensitive for him. He's still hurting over it. Are you kidding me?
Sorry, R.G. Smith, you can't own people anymore.
No, so sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry about that at all.
He's the sheriff now, so he's in charge of the county jail. But before this, he had been the chief of police. Mm-hmm. And when he was the chief of police, he got in trouble all the time for like getting charges of racial discrimination.
And what they call racial intimidation.
Right.
Which is like, God damn it, how shitty can you be?
This is a good time to point out that the reason that Sandy wanted to go back to this town was because she had gone to college there. And I think she loved it. And she saw that there was a lot of work she could do there.
Exactly.
So we get the story of like what actually really brought her to Texas that weekend, which was the school that she had gone to had called her to let her know that there was a job opening, but they needed her to apply for the job in person. So this is when she like goes to Texas and she applies for the job and she gets it. She calls her mom and she's like, Mom, I'm in Texas and I got a job.
Friday, Sandy just called to say, hey, I got it. I'm about to start in a few days. I got it, Mom. She goes, I'm going to the grocery store and I'll talk to you later. I text her and I say, watch out Prairie View. Work it, girl. Friday afternoon, tables turned. Everything's different.
You guys, it's like later that afternoon that she gets pulled over by this garbage piece of shit cop and then is dead 3 days later.
Yep.
So she gets arrested and they bring her in. And I think because she had been in trouble before and now this is a felony that she's being brought in for. And also because the cop is saying that she was aggressive, she gets put in solitary confinement.
Yeah, it's like a different category of being arrested.
The jail has a policy that if you bring an inmate in and you deem them to be a threat or aggressive or what have you, you isolate them initially and then you reevaluate them within a 24-hour period. We know that didn't happen for Sandy because she was there by herself for 3 days. She's not combative. She's not aggressive. Why single her out?
So now she's alone in the jail cell, and this is the cell where she ends up dead.
Right, and now Waller County Jail is now becoming like the stomping ground for all of these protests and activists.
This whole thing is really scary because you see these, what are being called the new Black Panthers, standing like maybe 20 feet in front of the jail carrying machine guns, and the cops are like out in front of the jail facing them, carrying their riot gear and their guns, and the Black Panthers are fucking pissed. They have every right to be so mad.
Yep.
I just was looking at it and I was like, this is so fucking terrifying. Like, if one thing goes wrong here, so many people are going to die.
Yep.
Too black, too strong. Too black, too strong. All power to the people. 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 Too black, too strong. Too black, too strong. No more pigs in our community.
You see how angry they are.
Right.
And like, you're looking at the cops, you know they're scared and they're just trying not to show it. One of them was smiling.
They're in a very, very, very small parking lot, which is like the length of a car.
Yeah.
It was terrifying to watch.
It really was so scary to watch that. Can we talk about the Reverend Hannah Bonner?
If we don't, I quit the podcast.
So we're like all of a sudden inside this church and we meet this reverend, I guess is what you call her.
This like badass woman reverend.
Yeah, and she's the one who tells us that like many Black women have been killed in situations like this before, but Sandra's was the first one whose name had like real staying power.
Regardless of if she had a cigarette, regardless of whether she cursed, I believe Officer Encinia would not have pulled Sandra Bland from her car if she looked like me. Therefore, racism killed Sandra Bland.
She's just not taking anybody's fucking shit.
Right. Well, first of all, Sandra Bland died on Monday. Hannah was there by Wednesday. She's like, I just got to get my shit in order for like a couple hours. She has no time for anybody's shit, and I'm here for her 1,000,000,000%.
She goes down to the courthouse where Sandy died. She lights a candle, and like somebody from within the jail comes and blows it out. She's like, fine, fuck that. She starts projecting the Sandy Speaks videos on the side of the jail.
I was asked, was I trying to racially unite or racially incite? Well, honestly, I feel that my goal is to racially unite. Now, in the process of doing that, some people will be incited, i.e. upset, because based on the history of America, it is not good when it comes to Black and white people.
She's like, I'll see you, this stupid candle, and I'll raise you her actual voice.
Yeah, which is really, really incredible.
Right.
So here's some shit. We're back in Chicago with the hot attorney. Cannon. And what's happened is the people in Texas they'd like sent out for a toxicology report on Sandy. And then they had released the body back to Sandy's family. So Sandy's family has possession of the body. The people in Texas have this toxicology report.
Right. And now tomorrow is the burial of Sandy.
So we're with Cannon, the attorney, and he's showing us these text messages he gets the day before the funeral where the DA, that other super slow talker guy.
Elton.
What a fucking weird name for a DA.
DA Elton Mathis.
DA Elton Mathis is texting him saying like,
he says to me at 4:58, where is the body? Do you have the results back on your autopsy? So this is part of what makes me start to feel like there's a little gamesmanship that's going on because he knows that I can't have a full autopsy report. He then says, looking at the autopsy results and toxicology, It appears that she may have swallowed a large quantity of marijuana or smoked it in jail.
He says she swallowed marijuana. How do you think she spelled it? Because I know exactly how he spelled it.
How did he spell it?
MARIH UANA. I just have LOL. It's like
marijuana.
Marijuana. Just say weed. Just say pot.
Yeah. All of this is just licensed now for the people in Texas to slander Sandy. Like now they're saying, well, if she was that high, her mindset wasn't right. It makes sense that she would kill herself.
Well, now we're trying to say, oh, let's not look at what really happened. Let's talk about this marijuana that was in her system. And so now she changes from the poor young lady who passed in a jail cell to, she was crazy. She had mental illness.
It's such an antiquated view where it's like, well, she probably went insane because of the evil goddamn pot, because of the devil pot, the devil marijuana. You're like, what? Now, DA Mathis assembles a grand jury to consider criminal charges.
So here's the thing. That sounds like a good thing, right? It sounds like the DA is doing the right thing. Maybe we're going to bring criminal charges against the cops or the people who should have been watching Sandy when all of this went down. Then we get to Cannon, and he's like, no, bitch. The way grand juries work, it's a completely secret process. Mm-hmm. They can show whatever evidence they want or not show whatever evidence they want.
Right. The prosecutors have all the power here.
I bet you money that the DA down there, they'll say all of the evidence that we presented to the grand jury was assessed, and they made a determination that nobody should be charged. But the practical reality of a grand jury investigation is that it's not adversarial. I can't be there. I don't get to submit any evidence. They get to choose what evidence they submit and what evidence they don't.
The prosecutor, who does not want to prosecute these people, he doesn't think they did anything wrong.
But yeah, you think they're showing the dash cam video? Of course they're not.
How is this process this way? That the person whose people would be prosecuted is the one who is deciding what evidence is seen, what witnesses are called, what evidence isn't seen. How does it work this way?
I could not believe it.
I know. So because they know that this grand jury nonsense is not going to go their way, Cannon is like, you know what, you guys, we're going to file a lawsuit. Our only way of getting any justice here is going to be to sue everybody involved.
Mm-hmm.
We sued Waller County Sheriff Brian Encinia. We sued both of the booking officers at Waller County. There's the assault and battery counts. There's the wrongful death count. There's the survival count. There were constitutional rights that were violated. People in this country have died for the opportunity to make sure that we have a voice at this point. And we're going to muster the strength to use it.
So now we get sort of a revelation. This was the first time that I went, oh.
Yeah.
So the cops, in response to these lawsuits being filed, they released the intake forms. So when Sandy was brought into the jail that day, she had to fill out intake forms. Mm-hmm. And one of the questions was, have you ever attempted suicide? She checked the box, yes.
Right.
And then the next question is, are you thinking of killing yourself today? And it's no.
Right.
But this was one of those moments where I was like, oh God, no matter what, this doesn't look good.
Right.
And the DA says, who fully thinks that she killed herself, is like, look, she was scared.
She was likely going to lose her job at her alma mater that she had just gotten because now she picked up a felony. She had lost a baby 14 months prior. I'm in a new location far away from my family. They knew what her bond was. She wasn't being bonded out. She's sitting there thinking about, what am I going to do?
And then that fucking garbage sheriff says, like, yeah, she committed suicide.
Did she want to do that in completion, or did she do it by accident, wanting to be maybe caught for extra attention? Those things, none of us would ever know.
When he said more, I feel like Drake every time I'm like, when they said, I just trailed off speechless. That's kind of where where I lived in this documentary. So then we meet this guy Marland, who's Sandra's youth minister.
Yeah.
And he tells us this other moment.
Right.
Where he's like, look, hold on.
Look.
Turning the car around. He's like, when we were working together, Sandra had binders about research on police brutality.
Yeah.
And this was part of her calling, like we've been hearing about since the beginning of this documentary. And he goes, look, she had much harder times than sitting in jail for 3 days. If anything, this would add fuel to her fire and want to fight even more, because I think it was the marijuana count or a DUI.
It was a DWI, yeah.
She could either pay the ticket or sit in the county jail for 30 days and then 2 weeks back at Waller County. She chose that. So they're like, 3 days isn't nothing. Like, this would only make her stronger. She was not suicidal. She just wasn't. According to them, this is not the Sandy they knew.
Yeah. And then we see this video of her where she says, it's like another Sandy Speaks, and she says,
there are uneducated people who are hell-bent on self-extermination. I am not one of them. I am into building up my kings and queens. So for me, Black Lives Matter. And then subset, all lives matter.
Self-extermination.
I know that.
She had everything to live for. Like this, she just was not suicidal.
She was I just keep going back to the word determined.
Yeah.
She was determined and focused. She had work to do.
Look, this comes up for 5 seconds, so let's just talk about it for like a second, because I've heard other people talk about this.
Yes.
There's a whole conspiracy theory that Sandra Bland was actually dead at the time of the mugshot.
Right.
When she is allegedly brought out of the holding cell to have her mugshot taken, her face is blurred out through the entire segment.
One of the most heavily discussed pieces of evidence is Bland's mugshot. Many are postulating that she was already dead when her photo was taken by police.
It's this crazy conspiracy theory where they're saying all of these things, like you're told when you get a mugshot taken, don't lean against the wall, but like Sandy is leaning against the wall.
Right, there's no space between her and the, quote, wall.
Yep, and then there's another shot of the mugshot where it looks like, oh God, like that could be a dead body.
Yeah, her eyes aren't fully open. It's really terrifying. It's a rabbit hole and a half,
It's a rabbit hole and a half. Did you get on the Reddit?
Of course I did. It was Sandy Bland and Madeline McCann all day today on the Reddit. God, I just need 8 showers and 10 palate cleansers for myself. But it's also like there are a lot of unanswered things from the county jail. I don't know. It's very easy to be like, well, wait a second.
But also, like, the Black Panthers have left, but there is now a protest at the Waller County Jail, and, like, people are pushing their way in.
Yeah, the closed captions just said clamoring.
I love your closed captions have a good sense of humor, I gotta say.
Sometimes they really do.
Back up! Back up! We stand out for people inside! Open the door!
It's terrifying. It's a mob of people kicking in the door of the county jail, protesting. People are fucking pissed.
Right. And so, like, that is totally valid, but at the same time, the cops are just like, we also can't hear the 911 calls. Like,
right. Which is also valid.
Right. So it's like, there's got to be a better way. Also, maybe this shouldn't have happened in the first place, and then we wouldn't even be here, and then you can answer those goddamn 911 calls.
That's the better way, girl. You figured it out. You're about
it.
You're
God. Beautiful and smart. Just don't do that.
So Sandra's family hired an independent medical examiner to do their own autopsy.
Dr. Joy Carter.
She's amazing. I will tell you, they take us inside the autopsy room at one point, and there's like what looks like a miso soup plastic container that just says contents of stomach. Oh, I was like, oh my god, this is too real. I don't need to see that.
The autopsy is, our investigative tool. So you have to be thinking forward. You have real injuries that could not have resulted from a hanging, but from blunt force being applied to the back of the body. And yet there is no tissue that is labeled soft tissue from the back. Questions are still there.
So now we're in a conference room with this doctor and Sandy's family. What they're looking for in this autopsy are signs of foul play and murder. So here's what we learn. Number one, there's no signs that she was actually hanging like a free fall. That if that noose had been around her neck, she would have been like in a sitting position.
Seated with her head forward, she said.
She did have a well-formed ligature mark which had a V behind her left ear. And that's the point of suspension. There were no fractures, but I found evidence of deep bruising. Bruising going all the way through the deep muscles on the back, down to the level of the ribs.
There weren't any injuries of her fighting back and fighting for her life, which we've heard about in so many documentaries, like nothing under the fingernail, nothing.
Right.
There are certain things that we look for in forensics to give us the ability to say when the death occurred. Mm-hmm. And you have a short window to document those things. primary one is getting a core body temperature, which was not done. And that's what's lost.
This is very confusing. And you could see the families kind of like, wait, so there's kind of no real concrete information here.
I mean, there is a lot of significant and vital information that is missing. Sure. There's a lot of things that are just does not add up.
Cannon's big dun 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 moment is like, well, there's no fingerprints of her on the trash bag noose. Mm-hmm. There's no DNA of her on the trash bag noose, which there definitely would be. But he's saying even with that, we still can't prove that she didn't take her own life.
Right. And he's like, I watched 130 hours of video from that county jail.
Yep.
And he goes, I didn't see anyone, whether that video was manipulated or not, he didn't see anyone go into her cell. And he's like, I can't bring that into court. I can't fight on that.
But his big point is that had she not been falsely arrested, she would be alive today.
Ultimately, I don't look at it from the standpoint of whether or not it was a suicide or whether or not it was a murder. It was an in-custody death. Sandy should be here, period.
Exactly.
The police still have blood on their hands. No matter what, whether she killed herself, whether she didn't, the police have blood on their hands because they falsely imprisoned this woman, and that resulted in her being dead.
Right. And also, just real quick, there was a police officer who was falsifying hourly observation logs.
So here's the other thing.
Here's the other ba-ba-ba moment.
This is the thing, too, where, the police officers were supposed to be checking on her every hour, and if they had been doing that, she would probably still be alive. And we have these records where the DA admits were falsified by the officer on duty.
What that jailer was doing was pre-filling out the form. Did you falsify? No, not in his mind.
So the truth is, the person that signed that jail log, did not see Sandy. They did not check on her that hour. That is a false record. Was it made intentionally or knowingly or with evil intent? According to what he says, no.
The DA and the sheriff are like, did he falsify it? Yes. Was there evil in his heart? Probably not. And I'm like, that bitch lied on paper and someone's dead. There's documentation of this person predating hourly checks.
Yeah.
And they say this person, they're still protecting it. We don't know his name.
Right.
We don't know anything. It's like, this officer, there was not an ounce of evil in his heart, sweetheart. And I'm like, I don't care. He lied.
Right. He lied. And not only did he lie, he wasn't actually doing the thing that he was supposed to be doing, which if he had been doing might have resulted in Sandy still being alive.
You guys,
also, don't put people in jail for no fucking reason.
Right. Every, you had one job meme and you had one job gift. Just get up off your ass once an hour and write down the time and check marks or whatever you have to do. It's
Go
not
check
that
on that prisoner who shouldn't be in solitary confinement but is for no reason.
Yeah, you had one job.
You're supposed to be face to face once an hour, not looking through a window and guessing. This young woman is scared and frightened, and someone is having emotional pain, physical pain, isolated, then you have some things that should be considered as being driven to. We know that someone's spirit can be broken, even in a short period of time.
So this is going to go to arbitration, right? Mm-hmm. Just before we get there, Sandy's mom comes back for 1 minute to say that she still does not for one goddamn minute think that Sandy killed herself.
Yes.
Sandy was bold and knew exactly what was right and what was wrong. I don't believe Sandy shut her mouth when she got to that jail. I believe she kept talking. I believe she let them know, I'll see you guys in court. I believe she did all of it. And I believe they silenced her. So no, it's not settled. And no, I don't believe she committed suicide. Still.
And so now we go to arbitration because nobody wants to take this to a trial. Mm-hmm. And so they're in arbitration for an entire day. Sandy's mom was like, it was really hard.
Yeah.
We weren't giving up anything. And it ends with them getting a $1.9 million settlement and a promise of jail reform, actual literal, they're going to go and put cameras in all the dark corners where they didn't have them before.
Right.
And a promise of de-escalation police training, which to me seems like the most important. If this guy had just de-escalated the situation, we wouldn't be talking about this right now.
Right. So you want the on-screen text?
Oh, God, yes.
Okay. So it says the Sandra Bland Act is now law in Texas, mandating statewide reforms to increase prison inmate safety. Hero Bell, right?
Yeah.
Okay, garbage bell. Because
I knew that was coming!
Look, because police de-escalation training was removed from the bill.
I mean, the police de-escalation training seems to me to be the most important part of this whole thing.
I know. And then also, like, no one has ever been criminally liable for anything that ever happened to her. Like, everything against Trooper Insignia, whatever dropped. Like, no one is criminally responsible for what happened to Sandra Bland.
So normally that's where I'd put in that da-da-da-da-da-da, but I want to end this episode with Sandy.
Yes.
I want to end this episode with her the way that the movie ends with her talking.
Which I love.
Yeah, and then stick around for our credits. We got stuff to say.
Good morning, my beautiful kings and queens. You know, racism is still only alive because people keep perpetuating it, white and black. Enough people don't have friends of a different race, black people included. We don't have enough white friends. They don't have enough black friends. For those who don't agree with the things that I'm saying, I apologize, but I'm not going to stop. This is about educating you. That is my goal. We need to educate each other. That's the only way this is going to work.
Girl, okay, that wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it was tough.
I'm so glad to have had the opportunity to like scream and yell and really feel the rage. Like this documentary I was so glad to get to know Sandra Bland.
Yes,
you know?
me too.
Like she even looks different than I feel like I remember her pictures in the page. Like I feel like I got to know her a little bit, which was really valuable to me.
Yeah, and I'm happy we get to be part of the people screaming, say her name. Like,
yes,
to say, like, I mean, and even watching this, like, some of the people just wouldn't, that girl or this person, like, say her name. It's Sandra Bland.
You guys, don't forget June 29th. It's so soon. Come to our Pride show. I think we're down to like 26 tickets or something. They're going really fast. Come on my Pride tours that morning. I'm going to take you all around the village. We're going to get some quality time. You're going to see some cool New York stuff. Yes. We've got drag queens greeting you at the door. We've got a super fancy comic, and we've got some crazy surprises. You're going to have to be there to believe.
I mean, look, I'm a secret.
Girl, what are we talking about in the Patreon after party today?
I think New Orleans, right?
We are going to talk about our time on the road between New Orleans for CrimeCon and Nashville for PodX.
Yep.
We got some stories, you guys. They're really funny. They include people that you love, like Tim and Lance and Maggie and Susan Simpson and Rabia and Ashley Flowers and Britt. They're really crazy bonkers.
And the Super Hot Husbands.
Of course. You guys, join the Patreon at the $7 level for that. At the $5 level, you get all of our bonus episodes. Serial, The Jinx, Making a Murderer,
Madonna's Truth or Dare,
Lorena. All of that stuff is episode by episode. There's like 80 episodes for you to get right now.
Yeah.
At the $10 level, you get all of that, the after show, and all of the regular episodes ad-free.
Yeah. And then at $20, you get all of that and like little surprises from us once a month.
Yeah. Girl, we need something lighter next week. What are we doing next?
Oh, I got you, girl. The boy band con, the Lou Pearlman story.
Yes!
You guys, this guy like defrauded NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and like all of these boy bands. It's amazing. It's still true crime, but god damn it.
It's super true crime. I can't wait.
It's going to be fun.
Girl, where can they find us?
TrueCrimeObsessed.com. Gorgeous website.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You get the merch, the Patreon stuff, the live shows, the episodes.
I was going to say an episode. We are at True Crime Obsessed on the Twitter and True Crime Obsessed Podcast on the Instagram.
You guys follow the Insta. I'm doing stories constantly. I'm obsessed.
Okay.
Where can they find you?
At Jillian with a G on all the things.
I'm at Patrick Hines _ on the Instagram. I'm at Patrick Hines on the Twitter. You guys stay tuned for the preview for that boy band thing.
Oh, boy band fraud or whatever. God, amazing.
Our hilarious outtakes, and our palate cleanser, which we'll figure out when we get there. Mm-hmm. We love you.
Thanks so much for hanging.
All right, bye.
Don't ever forget that this is show business. Always remember that while you're doing your show, your business could be walking out the back door.
Well, the boy band craze to me was this amazing time in history that changed everything.
We start selling out stadiums, start selling out arenas.
You see a girl pass out in front of you, and you're supposed to just keep performing.
People were selling 1 million records a week. Like nobody had ever seen sales like this before.
And what a lot of people don't understand, the man responsible for this was Lou Pearlman.
The impresario behind Backstreet Boys and NSYNC.
Lou was head of our family. We would have dinners, we would tell him everything.
This guy is the guy pioneering music on the radio.
Things were going great for us. This was going to be our first check presentation.
A lot of money now, this is gonna be nuts.
I open up the envelope, I see the check, and oh my gosh, like my heart sunk. I couldn't believe the number I was looking at.
There was this person that I had all this complete trust in. Suddenly, the carpet just got ripped out from underneath us.
You sell almost 10 million albums. I could have made this much working full-time at Starbucks.
Something isn't adding up. Lou's getting paid, promoters are getting paid.
The deeper they dug, the worse it got.
Never in a million years thought a person that I entrusted my life with could do something like this.
It went from Jolly Lou to like, I don't give a fuck about you right now.
Then to find out how many other people this thing that he did affected.
One of the FBI agents I did a lot of work with, he looked like he had a bank fraud case involving Lou Pearlman.
Webs upon webs of robbery.
Every parent is protective of their child, and I was so angry.
It was all truly criminal.
He would use his power and influence to try to manipulate young performers.
It's not for me to decide, man.
He terrorized me.
If Lou didn't feel bad, then he's a monster.
Lou gave us all the ability to have lives today.
I wonder how he could sleep at night.
Lou has all the power.
A man who had everything.
He stole my life.
Had the world in his palm of his hand.
I just wanted to kill him.
I gotta take a break for a second, guys. All right? Yeah, I just need to.
The people who are fighting me will be damn sorry.
What? That makes, it's like I've never read words. I'm like nervous today.
Why are you nervous?
I don't know. I'm feeling giddy because I miss you and I'm
I know, I
happy to be
never
here. I'm
see
feeling
you.
very like, ooh. It's a
Steve,
whole
we
thing.
just pulled the curtain down and it hit Jillian in the face, and I'm not happy about it. Archie, how
do you say this with a straight face?
Right. Can you just say the shit hit the fan?
I
hate it when people do that. Either use the entire expression or just say it differently.
Oh, now I'm furious about that. Ding!
Yeah. Hero Morning Zoo. Wow.
Don't you put the fart sounds in the Hero Harp medley. You guys, this is why I fought against the Morning Zoo. Now you know. I'm talking directly to the listeners right now. Now you know. That's like you're being a little hysterical where it's like, I just said excuse me.
I know. I wish you would smile more, though.
Look.
That hurt. Even coming out of my mouth, that felt like
right?
nails. Yeah.
Can you imagine being his daughter like, sweetheart, you're just being a little attention grabby today? And it's like, that's the garbage fart.
The garbage fart!
The garbage fart.
You guys were never bringing the garbage fart back.
There's a clock on the wall and it's moving too slow. It's got hours to kill and a lifetime to go. And I'm holding my breath till I hear the last bell. Then I'm coming out hard and I'm giving them hell. Cause I'm a superstar and you don't even know it. In a wonder bra and you don't even know it. You're so blah blah and you don't even know it. That's all you are and you don't even know it. There's a path I've got and you don't even know it. To the promised land and you don't even know it. And you won't understand and you don't even know it. Cause you're my backing man and you don't even know it. And it's the Jamie Show and you don't even know it. And you're so and you don't even know it. And you're kinda slow and you don't even know it. And I'm go and you don't even know it. I got the dreams, I got the style, I got the moves to make you smile. So kiss my ass goodbye, cause I'm gonna be the one. I'm on my way, I won't be turned. Your stupid lessons I've learned, and I'll be free to fly. Cause I'm gonna kiss the sun. Cause baby I'm the shit, and you don't even know it. I'm the shit, and you don't even know it. Yeah, I'm a hit, and you don't even know it. I'm a blockbuster, and I'm rising fast. I'm an anti-fast. Yeah, the past is past. I'll be free at last. Yeah, the wasted years, the shitty days, the boring natural dull cliches. Get off and hit the track, cause I'm gonna be the one. You're in my lane, you're in my life. Get out my way, I'm taking flight, and I ain't coming back. Cause I'm gonna kiss the sun. And if ever you find life is getting you down, well, there's a party to start in a new part of town, where there's a guest list of one and the name's Jamie New. And if you ask me real nice, I might sign you in too. baby, I'm the shit. And you don't even know. I'm the shit. And you don't even know. You better give me a room. Don't even know. For my va-va-voom. Don't even know. And I'm coming up. Don't even know. In a double D cup. Don't even know. Cause when a boy's this bad, don't even know. He's the headline act. Don't even know. All the boys in the class go. And all the girls in the class go. All the boys make some noise, say. All the girls give a 12, say. The boys like. We got big car, we got big dollar, and we got big dick. The girls like. We're superstar, we gonna holler till the beat gets sick. The beat gets sick, the beat gets sick. We gonna holler, and we got big dick.
Dick gon' swing, dick gon' swing, dick gon' swing.
No, 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 no. Kids keep bragging and the days keep dragging like, hey, who, what you gonna do? No use preaching cause I gave up teaching like, hey, who, what you gonna do? I ain't lying when I call them trouble. They be great, great, double on double. Yeah, yeah, nowhere busting their bubble. Bringing it down on the head like rubble. Tell it like it is, but they don't wanna know it. Life don't owe you, know you owe it. Life don't owe you, know you owe it. Life don't owe you, know you owe your Janie, owe your Janie, owe your Janie, owe your Janie, owe it's your birthday, it's your birthday, owe your Janie, owe your Janie. I got the dreams, I got the style, I got the moves to make you smile. So kiss my ass goodbye, 'cause I'm gonna be the